we fix that, where would you fix that exactly? Is that like a Lumibot fix? I thought that was like a Lumibot fix. Is it ignoring what we're telling it to do? We shouldn't force it. This should be purely system prompt. Maybe you need to tweak the system prompt a little bit, but this does not sound like one of the main problems that we have here. This sounds like a very minor thing, this order readiness thing. It obviously needs to work, but that doesn't seem like a really big thing to do. And then your next thing here is the token limit. You're saying the Gemini token limit error I found was the Ray 2-year V1 run, not the inspected Citadel 1-year rows. Weeba has pruning logic, but currently only declares explicit context limits for DeepSeek V4, not Gemini. So Gemini can still exceed the 1 million token limit. Okay, so we need to set token limits for Gemini. We probably should also set token limits for OpenAI as well. Most of them have like a 1 million token context window. You should probably just research that and we could just stick those in somewhere, right? And it depends on the model too. Like the newer models have bigger context windows and older models have smaller context windows. So it might need to be per model specifically, not just like Gemini in general. It's like Gemini 3.1 flash light, has a specific context window size versus, something else. And I wonder if we could even get that from the API when we're running this, right? It shouldn't just be just DeepSeek, right? If it's possible to get it from the API, that'd be ideal. But if not, then we could just have like a table of these things and show the max context for all the different Gemini models, all the different OpenAI models, and all the different Anthropic models, because those are like the most popular. And then you're saying for Federal Reserve, Louisbot has real built-in Fred Alfred tools, but the data variants created a custom public CSV get Fred series, which does not use the key and can shadow the built-in. That should be removed. Okay, fair enough. That sounds fine for Federal Reserve. And then for Alpaca, you're saying local Alpaca keys exist, but currently about source only checks an Alpaca broker connection, Alpaca news API key. Yeah, it sounds like you're just setting the wrong environment variable, right? It's the same API key in secret, it's just a different environment variable name. So it sounds like that's your main problem there. It's a very easy fix, it sounds like. And they're saying SEC is built into Louisbot and needs no API key, but the data variants passed custom tools, which can omit default built-ins like SEC. Use default built-ins or explicitly include SEC tools. Yeah, I think we should do that. Okay, so yeah, there's a couple of things that we need to do here. And then to answer your questions, you're saying your first question, should inverse leverage ETFs be allowed? Yes, if it wants to use them. Um, Yeah, if it wants to use leveraged inverse ETFs, but it should be very careful with those because it's very easy to lose money with leveraged inverse ETFs. Um, then your second question is for leveraged variance. Do you want strictly no cash like ETFs at all, even SHV? No, that's perfectly fine. Cash like ETFs are fine if it needs to take a break. Or is cash SHV allowed only when the model refuses every leverage setup? Yeah, I mean, if it wants to go into cash, it should be able to go into cash. I see nothing wrong with that. And then your third question is for Citadel, should the default 100% be one of the best 3x sector ETFs or 100% invested across the top 2 to 3 leverage ETFs? I mean, for Citadel, I thought Citadel was always diversified. That's why it was doing so well. Why is it only buying one? I thought it was always to buy the top 2 or 3. I think for both Ray Dalio and Citadel, it should force at least owning 3 positions at a time. It should not own only one position, except if that position's cash, maybe, right? Maybe like a heavy position to cash if it really needs to. I think we should discourage that. But if it really needs to, it can do that. Um, yeah, and then it should always be diverse. It should not be putting just one thing. It should never be buying none of these things. It should be buying just one at a time. You should probably make it at least 3 at a time, right? So it could diversify, change the percentage that it owns of each and things like that. But it should never just buy one asset unless that asset is cash, right? Which should be strongly discouraged anyways, of it just purely sitting in cash. And then your fourth question is, should SEC usage be mandatory for ETF strategies or only when the agent is evaluating company sector fundamentals where SEC filings actually matter? Yeah, it's not mandatory, but it should be available to it as a tool and know that it's there. All right, and then your fifth question is, do you want me to fix the Alpaca ENV alias bug in Lumibot? What? What ENV alias bug? Or just create botspot saved environment variables using the Alpaca News names. You should use the Alpaca News names. That is not a bug. That is intentional. Because if you're trying to connect with one broker like Tradier, and then you set the Alpaca API keys, then the bot is going to get confused and start trading with Alpaca, right? That's specifically why we named them Alpaca News. That's an intentional thing. That is not a bug. Please make sure that you document that well, that that is not a bug, and that this is how it should be done in the future. This should be documented well. That is not a bug. That is fully intentional for it to be like that. You should add comments around that and you should document that well so you don't in the future think that's a bug because it is definitely not a bug. That's fully intentional. Okay, and please take your time, go through all this stuff in detail, really take your time to research everything thoroughly, then come back to me with an updated game plan of exactly how you think we can fix all these issues. Some of them are pretty simple, some of them are a little bit more difficult. Um, Make sure that it's very well researched, and then let me know what other questions you have for me. Okay, so we got all these running. Polymarket is running. We have this AI video actually being done. That's kind of cool. And then can you please make sure BotSpot React? Oh, this is specifically AI trading team in BotSpot agent is the thing that we started building for you, Andrew. This thing is still taking a really long time to go through all this. Why is this? Wow, there's some sort of big issue here. Okay, and then this thing. I see. I gotta do a phone number verification for where is this? I saw that open somewhere. Verify phone number. This is strange. I thought I did this already. United States, USA. Well, I guess because it's a new channel, that makes sense actually. Here we go. Okay, that seems to work. Let me try doing this again. It's a little late for, we're almost done the session anyways, but next week we can do a live stream. I think that'd be pretty cool. Calling it Live Algo Lab. I did the phone number verification and it's still telling me that I'm unavailable, that it's not working. Why? Like, can you check Chrome and go through all this stuff? It says phone number verified. Why is it still not letting me do this? Okay, then we got Polymarket here. Let's see what Polymarket's saying. Okay, you're right. For now, we should ignore Polymarket US and build Polymarket.com international and CLOB first. Building international first will make US easier later, but it is not a drop-in reuse. The reusable part is Lubot plumbing, prediction contract, order position, account normalization, tests, and stream dispatch. The non-reusable part is broker specific. Auth, SDK tools, IDs, order payloads, and account model. Okay, that's pretty cool. So if we build it for Polymarket International, we'll be able to do this in the future for Polymarket US as well. That's good to know. Although Polymarket International seems to be so much easier to get into. Okay, so for international Polymarket, there are three layers: private key, CLB. Okay, a session signer means a key that signs the trading messages for the wallet. Okay, get credentials, improve login, add minimal when we bought plumbing, add Polymarket data, get chains, return because there's no options, get historical prices, use CLB price history only, otherwise clear unsupported error. Last trade place, fall back to midpoint if configured. Order book for best bid ask. Okay. Then resolve market, resolve contract, get order book, get CLB market info, get tick size. Okay. Then add Polymarket broker, get balance as a broker, pull position, da da da. Start with market orders, but explicitly add WebSockets before any serious fast trading, add limit orders and cancel tests. Okay. I think we're ready to start building Polymarket. Okay, this is actually a pretty solid game plan. So let me answer your questions. And then what I want you to do is all this needs to be documented very well inside of like this. I think you already have this blueprint. I think it needs to be even more detailed and make sure you research everything very, very thoroughly. So you understand exactly what functions need to be there, what functions Trader has, what functions Alpaca has, how they communicate with each other. Like all of that really needs to be mapped out very well because it's going to be a long-term thing for you to work on. So it needs to be very well documented and very well researched. And you need to understand how does Alpaca work? How does Trader work? What are like the requirements for this type of class in general for both of them, right? So do all your research really, really thoroughly and document all of them in the markdown file and all that kind of stuff, and then also show it to me as well. And I don't think you should be leaving tests until the very end. We should be doing tests throughout this entire thing, right? You should be doing a test like as soon as you have Polymarket data and then Polymarket set up and then you should have a test trying to actually get account info, right? And then you should set up market orders and then test whether market orders work. And then you should set up WebSockets and then test whether WebSockets work. And I don't mean just unit tests, which you should be doing unit tests throughout the whole process, right? And make sure you understand how unit tests work within Louisbot too. That's another thing you really need to research. But you should be basically adding functionality, then testing it and unit testing it, then adding more functionality, testing it and unit testing it. And like you should be going in intervals like that. And then to answer your questions, your first question is, can I create, derive the CLOB API credentials from your polymarket.com account next without touching Polymarket US? Yes, you are allowed to do that. Your second thing is, should I store them in .env.local for this prototype? Yes, that's fine. And then your third question is for the first live trading proof, notional are you comfortable with? Yeah, $1 to $5 is perfectly fine. Um, Try not to lose money, but it's honestly it's not a big deal. It's like 30 bucks. Who cares? I have $30 in that account approximately. So I'm really not too worried about it. Okay, so anyway, so please do your final real set of research of everything we talked about here. Make sure it's documented very well, then come back to me with a very thorough to me, and then also a markdown file that's extremely well detailed as well, even more detailed than all this, including unit tests and all those other types of things, and how you're actually going to be testing this physically, and how you're going to be storing stuff, and how Tradio works, and how Alpaca works, and all the required functions, and all that kind of stuff really needs to be documented very, very well and researched very, very well. And then let me know and then show me that whole very detailed game plan and show me the markdown file with even more detail. And then let me know if you have any other questions for me or if you think you're ready to get started. With any luck, this thing will actually build Polymarket in one shot. Cross your fingers that that happens. I feel like that's probably not going to happen, but I think there's a good chance of that. Okay, so we have that going. We have the AI trading team still trying to figure out all the stuff. So that's still going. And then the AI trading team in BotSpot agent is still trying to figure out how to get these servers to run, which is kind of crazy. There's something, another agent really screwed up, it seems like. Okay, cool. So all these agents are going to run. It's going to take some time for them to all get done. Um, it's 11 o'clock, right? So maybe this is a good stopping point anyways. I'm going to keep running these things throughout tonight and tomorrow. But is there anything else that you guys want to talk about or have questions about or anything before we sign off for tonight?
I'm good. I think we made a lot of progress.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of technical stuff today,
Yeah.
but
yeah, I think it looks pretty good.
yeah. Um, with any luck, we'll have Polymarket sort of working by next week. And I'm going to try to actually run some of these AI trading bots tonight or tomorrow. We'll see if I could get that done and we can actually see them in action, right? Because I think that's kind of the more interesting thing is like see them actually trading, right? So I'm going to try to get that done as well, right? Cool. Awesome, guys. All right. Well, I
Cool.
hope you have a good night.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
See you
Okay.
guys.
All
Have a
right.
good one.
Good night. See you later.
See you next week. All right. Bye.